founder and executive director of Poetry Planet. And my name is Parneet and I come from India. So basically, we use poetry in all people's communities. And today, me and Sheelah, maybe you should introduce yourself.
Okay. Hi there, I'm Sheelah Bearfoot. I am the Environmental Health and Justice Program Manager at Poetry for Planet. I like to fuse my scientific background with poetry and art as a form of science communication.
So today we are here to do a duet poem and also reflect on our journey as poets and as friends who've come together at COP. Yeah. On to you, Sheelah.
Well, first I will be doing a poem, Parneet will be doing a poem, and then we will be doing a duet poem, all centering around the themes of food, agriculture, and water. Okay, so without further ado, I don't want to hold anyone up any further, but okay.
Let's go.
What grows from blood-soaked soil? Actually, pretty much anything can. The minerals you hold within you are the same ones that nourish trees, rough bark protecting fragile phloem, that the basics of life flow through just as easily as your veins. Connecting us even through tragedy, destruction, murder, genocide. Yes, the land remembers, she just decides that bloodshed will not be an ending. She decides on life, no matter how many want her dead. So the murder is up to the ante. Settling on new tactics that last long after the bodies cool. What grows from oil-soaked soil? Hardly anything. Life choked before it could ever breathe, a pipeline carrying crude, premeditated murder. What grows from cement-soaked soil? Hardly anything. Oh, but such death by development is civilized, to never touch anything that can feel. What grows from uranium-soaked soil? Hardly anything. Bombs dropped, fallout settles in our bones. It produces power only for those who already stole it, though they prefer to keep their methods in the dark. How is it that somehow murder is not the worst they can do? Separate survivors from who loves them, try to prevent the land from growing back with those who love her, keep the wound open, prevent her from growing the plants that heal, that can grow even from blood. She knows how to produce life from death until you take away even that much. They think we're stuck in the past, but don't want us to have a future. Present false choices. What grows from settler-soaked soil? Hardly anything. The land resists their commands. She waits. She knows bloodshed is not their worst. Isolation, exploitation, slow poison to prevent remediation. What grows from abandoned soil? No one. It's not over when the blood stops flooding the ground. It's over when nobody can return.
Thank you so much, Sheelah. I think you always bring the truths in such a beautiful way. So today I'm going to share a poem that I recited at the World Food Forum as the official poet. The first poem ever written was with seeds in our words when they said, the way to the heart is through the stomach. And that's where, dear all, the permutations and combinations began to birth a muse. Every leaf a line, every fruit a verse, every farm a poem. Inspired, the Brazilians turned the land into a bard, birthing couplets after couplets of cacao and cassava, and a lesson for us to reap, to trust our youth and let them lead. Assured, her heart brimming with faith, nature retreats into her Zayapit and Sahel, to dip her toes in a mushy embrace of mulch and manure, to pause, to reflect, to recover, to nurture the next generation, to lead. Overcome by compassion for nature's perennial labor, the Indians slake her thirst by pouring love, drip by drip, aiming straight for the roots, gracefully leaving imprints of a reminder to bow, to reflect, to reconnect, to fall in love with one's roots. Raising a toast to intergenerational generosity, the Native Americans plant 3 sisters, maize, beans, and squash together, as a gesture to console a lovelorn young batch of crops, biding its time for a fruitful explosion. Following closely, the Romans, quick to her reprieve, save her from another et tu, brute. And as we stand on the cusp of a golden bloom, listen carefully. Do you hear the joy in earth's boom? Now, before you pay homage to the sun and moon gods, before you sharpen your sickle for the harvest, gently take a step back. Trace the trail of agriculture from Brazil to Italy, all the way to the beginning, to the very first poem written with seeds and our words. And now?
Time to come together.
Yes. I sip my morning coffee a bit slower every day as I let its nutty aroma sit with me as an ailing grandmother, holding me in a hug tighter than yesterday, yet looser than ever.
I remember making coffee for my mother in the morning. Short legs jumping on the counter to grab the mug she loved the most on the highest shelf, because for her, part of drinking coffee was feeling the warmth in her hands from fresh beans ground from cheap Costco coffee. From feeling the hot water poured through, I felt so grown being allowed to use the stove. I'd give her the mug, knowing she had a brief reprieve, and feel a little bit of peace. Yesterday, I chugged instant while tapping her out a lukewarm text of I love you that she only needed one hand to grasp, thousands of miles away.
As my tongue scrambles to withhold its bitterness, however fruitlessly, for my children to savor, so I let myself linger a bit longer in my coffee-colored hues.
This morning, I dug out the plastic cone I've been using to make coffee for 30 years, drowned feelings I don't have time for in the scent of French roast. They say too much coffee stunts your growth. I don't think they just meant physical.
So, how
did you take your coffee today?
Thank you. It's been an honor. It's been quite an honor to share the stage with Sheelah because our journey started last year in COP during the ILO Just Transition Pavilion. We were just wrapping up with our event, Labor of Love, and she ended up in that event, and I shared a very heartfelt and intimate moment with her where I shared my story as a poet and as someone who comes from a marginalized community in India and who's made it to COP and to these spaces which do not really see inclusive representation. So we've come a long way. It's been a year of us writing poems together, and now she's part of Poetry for Planet. I think this has been a beautiful journey, and we are so glad that you're here to witness something so magical that has we've brewed together.
Yes. Thank you so much.